For today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite types of products, and that is a rosy bronzer. So I've talked about doing this video in previous videos, I think, but the main impetus, if you will, was the release of the Fara Homidi, I think I'm saying that right, new bronzers. So this is the first product from Fara that I've purchased, and when I saw the swatches and everything, they described this particular shade as a beige tan with cool pink undertones. So I was like, say less. You're speaking my love language here. So if you have a fair skin tone like I do, then the idea of a rosy bronzer is very appealing. So this is the main focus of the video because it is the newest product, but I will have swatches of some of the other rosy bronzers that I have. So I purchased this from the Fara Homidi website. Last I checked, you get free standard shipping over 50. I am pretty sure when I checked out, it was free express shipping over 100. So I don't know if they changed that. I did purchase this on my phone, so it may have looked a little bit different. This is quite pricey though. This is $78 if you buy it in this kind of form factor. The Gucci, for reference, is $65. You get 0.12 ounces, and I think the Gucci is over here, 0.42 ounces. So you get quite a bit more product as well. So this is definitely a kind of more luxury high-end product. It is quite weighted and heavy in the hand. Like I feel like if you threw this at someone's head, it would do some serious damage. But yeah, it does feel luxurious, the whole kind of presentation and everything. Again, I did purchase directly from their website. So it came in a very pretty box with kind of their tissue paper and everything. And then everything was really nicely wrapped here. I don't know why they included this card. I mean, even their tissue paper has their logo on it and stuff. So it is a high-end experience, I would say. And the way it comes presented, this was the box that I showed you. It slides out and this lifts out like so. So again, very high end. So if you were more price conscious, you can get just the inner refill for $42. So you can see that has that little kind of divot there to pop the pan out. One slight criticism I have is that although this is magnetic, they designed it so there's this kind of imprint, which is very custom, but that means that it doesn't really go into a standard magnetic palette all that easily. You kind of have to use one of theirs. They did post a video on the website where it shows you the refill packaging, which looks like just kind of a little plastic clamshell. If you've ever seen like a Tarte sample blush, kind of like that, I think. Of course, that doesn't have a mirror or the magnetic closure, but I think it would be functional if you just wanted to do that. The other products in their line, I think, use the same size and shape compact. So if you had some of her other products and you wanted to use that compact, you could. The color will be different, but otherwise it should work. So what is this? It says an ultra smooth bronzing powder with a cream-like feel. Lumi Matte Soft Suede is a first of its kind, lightweight and lustrous bronzer with a soft matte finish that melts seamlessly into the complexion. Fara's Lumi Matte technology delivers a unique velvety touch and high creaminess, formulated to be used over any makeup or skincare base, which is interesting. This is made in Italy. There are 4 shades, and I got the lightest one, which again is beige tan with cool pink undertones. They say it's scented. I don't really detect a strong fragrance. I think it's a coconut fragrance, so it kind of smells like one of the core ingredients in a lot of makeup products anyway, some kind of coconut derivative. So that doesn't bother me. I'm usually not a huge fan of scented makeup. So they also released a brush that I picked up, and again, very luxurious kind of presentation. It had this outer box, and then this little kind of sleeve here, and then the brush itself, there's some plastic around it, but it's nice that it had this little pouch. I don't know what I would ever use that for, but that is the brush itself. It's a pretty short-handled brush, and these are vegan bristles. made in Japan, but they do feel very soft. So this brush is $68. You know, I picked it up as kind of part of the review, but I don't know that you would need to spend $68 on this. They say it's handcrafted with vegan bristles. A custom designed dual acting shader brush was created for the Essential Bronzer Compact. The bristles are both fluffy and full to apply an all-over bronze, while the uniquely tapered tip allows for a sculpted contour. So maybe depending on what shade you use in your skin tone, it could act as more of a contour. So I guess I'll try applying it a little bit that way to begin with. Again, I do wish for a bronzer that maybe the compact were a bit bigger. So that is how it kind of picked up, and that's how it looks kind of just on there. Okay. I don't know if I really like how that went on. I like the color. I think it just, the swiping and kind of blending, I think is just kind of taking up some of my base. So I have sunscreen on, and then I also added the CL Tint and Protect, and I set it with the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I don't think I like how that looks. I'm gonna I used this brush a little bit. This is the BK 106 to help blend the CL. I just didn't really feel like using my fingers that much today. And I don't have any other kind of complexion products on. So maybe if you're just kind of applying it over bare skin, this would work. I think a lot of times I do like kind of using a more kind of pouncing motion. So that is probably what I would do, but I don't know. And this mirror, again, it's a little small, I think, for this kind of thing. They also use this compact for her lip product, which is kind of, I think it's like part color, part clear balm, and she sells like a travel lip brush that you can pair with it. And then they also have like a foundation, some kind of foundation product. But again, none of their initial launches really appealed to me that much. And just to show you kind of what it looks like in the pan, now that I've dipped into it, really no fallout. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. So it does feel like a powder. That is the tone. So I'm just gonna swatch that on my arm. Again, nice tone to it. I did pull, as part of my swatch comparisons, I did pull some blushes because depending on how rosy you want to go, I'm just going into it now with the IT Cosmetics Airbrush number 150, which is what I like to use with bronzer. So I think you get decent kind of distribution. I think for how I like to apply bronzer, I think I like this brush better. I was worried that the compact would kind of be too small, but I kind of just, I don't know, like getting a decent amount of surface area in there. So yeah, so I like it a lot more now that I'm using this brush. I would say you can skip on the brush. I don't think it's worth it. And it does, I think, still have a pretty dewy appearance to the skin. I am going out today for a couple events. My niece has a piano recital, and then we're going to dinner. So I do plan on wearing this makeup. I'm just applying a little bit more of my Charlotte Tilbury just to kind of blend and soften. So I will be wearing this for, I don't know, 8 or so hours at least, I'm thinking. So I'll check in to see how things are looking at the end of the night. But I'm not going to be doing a lot of walking in heat or anything. So I think I can leave it just like that. I was debating whether I wanted to apply a blush or not, but I think I'll just kind of keep it pretty summery and easy, especially if we're doing kind of a wear test of sorts. So I'll go ahead and swatch these on my arm. And not all of the Fara Homidi bronzers have a rosy undertone, by the way. So just note that if you are looking at some of the other shades. Okay, so I'm gonna do the Gucci, which looks a tad less rosy. I'll do the Jones Road in Dusty Rose, which I think will be even more rosy. And I try to keep it to powder products. Let me know if you have any comparisons that you would like, and I can see if I have those in my collection. So going in with RMS Beach Walk Betty, the Laura Geller Baked Bronze in Brighton in Fair, the Flower Beauty Heatwave Luminous Bronzer in Sunrise, so a drugstore option for you. And then I have 3 MAC blushes that describe themselves as rosy. So I have the Matte Light Rosy, the Radiant Light Rosy, and then the Matte Medium Rosy. So I think I can maybe fit one more bronzer on my arm here. So I have the Kem Naquan, the Neo Bronzer in Sunrise Light. And this has kind of an ombre look to it. So I guess I'll just kind of swatch the matte side. It kind of goes from a matte to a shimmer. And then on my hand, I'll quickly swatch the MAC blush in Harmony, which, as I said, is a blush, but depending on how you apply it, I think there was a bit of hand cream or something on my hand, so it doesn't look like it swatched the best. Or maybe I put some of my sunscreen on there to apply it. And then finally, we have a blush and bronzer from Bare Minerals. This is Kiss of Pink, and that is definitely more pink. So those are the 2 kind of more blushy shades. The Kiss of Pink is at the top, and the MAC Harmony is underneath. So yeah, the Jones Road is definitely going to be the rosiest out of these, but it may be arguably too rosy. So I'll also insert some, careful I don't bend my arm here. I'll also insert some daylight swatches taken with my iPhone in natural daylight, kind of overcast daylight, so you can see that. So I'll check back in with you guys at the end of the night so you can see how the bronzer held up, but I think it's pretty. I just think there are a few things that you will probably want to consider before picking it up. And I don't think I mentioned the bronzer will be coming to the Sephora website on June 23rd if you prefer to shop from Sephora. And apparently it will be in stores in late August. So if your Sephora carries Fara Homidi, then you can go in and swatch in person. So that's going to do it for right now. I will check back with you guys at the end of the night. All right, guys, so it is the end of the night. It's actually been about 12 hours or so since I last spoke with you. And it is the same day, I promise. I changed my shirt, but it's the same day. So that is what we're looking like. I think you can still see the bronzer. I mean, my makeup in general is a little worse for wear. It wasn't exceptionally hot and humid today, but it did rain quite a bit. So yeah, so I think like my chin is kind of worn off. I think you can still see bronzer on my cheeks and my forehead. It's definitely very shiny on my forehead. And I didn't mention before that I do have dry skin. So I'll show you what it looks like powdered down a little bit, but I think like in general I can look a little shiny by the end of the day, but I think if you do have oily skin, you might want to, I don't know, find someone who has oily skin that has reviewed this, because I have dry skin and as you saw, it did look quite shiny. I didn't touch up at all today, but that's what it looks like powdered for the first time. So it comes back pretty easily. So I think my takeaway and my bottom line here is that I think it's a nice product. But I do think it is a kind of luxury product at a luxury price point. And hopefully with the swatches and everything, I gave you some other ideas for bronzy bronzer shades that you don't necessarily need to go for this one if you don't want to shell out the money for it. If you are interested in it though, if you really like the tone or the finish, I would say wait for it to come to Sephora, and even then wait for like the Sephora sale, because then you can get between 10 and 20% off depending on your tier. So that would be one way to bring the overall cost down. Or if you're not too concerned about this kind of heavier, more luxurious packaging, I think buying just the refill is definitely the way to go. It still annoys me a little bit that they chose to do the custom packaging. I think it's less consumer friendly to do it that way. I know it costs more money to kind of have things made custom for a brand or whatever, but I think it is less consumer friendly. And when you compare it to brands like Danessa Myricks, who have really bent over backwards to make their palettes kind of as customizable and interchangeable as possible, I think this kind of stands out. So yeah, so that's a major complaint. And at the same time, I think the amount of product you're getting here, again, they're keeping it in the same kind of component that they've custom made or whatever. They just have a different color for the bronzers, but you're really not getting a lot of product here. Like the Jumbo bronzer from Dior, for example, this one is 0.63 ounces. So again, 0.12 ounces, this is 3.5 grams. You get 18 grams of product with the Dior bronzer. So just something to consider when we're talking about kind of luxury brands and luxury price points. That is the size of the pan for the Dior bronzer. So I hope this video was helpful to you all. If it was, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll have all the different products I talked about down below. Those will be affiliate links, so if you'd like to help me out and help me earn a small commission by purchasing through those links, I really do appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.